Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to 1 Lesson 3 Math. We are back with another key skills review, and in this video we will be going through some problems on inequalities and expansions of brackets. So there's part A and part B for question 1, and part A and part B for question 2. So if you'd like to have a go at these questions, please pause the video now before I proceed with the explanations. So, we'll look at the inequalities section first. Part A is to show the inequality 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 2, on the number line below. So we're going to have a go at that. Now the first thing we need to do is draw circles at -3 and at 2. So we can draw the circles there and we can join them up with a line to represent the inequality. Now the final thing is, the inequality tells us that -3 is less than or equal to x. So that means that -3 is included. So when it's included, I colour it in. So basically we colour in that end, and I use the little memory trick to say that that is included. So that helps you remember that it's more ink if it's included, so you colour the circle in. So that inequality represents the numbers -3, -2, -1, 0 and 1, but not 2 because x is less than 2. Now for part 2 we need to write down the inequality shown on the number line below. So it starts at -2 and it goes to 4. Now -2 is not included, it's not coloured in, but 4 is included, so we put the little line below on the inequality. So that shows that that line on the number line represents -2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4. And if you had to write down the numbers, it would be -1. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, because -2 is not included and x is greater than -2. So that's a little revision of showing inequalities on number lines. For part B we need to solve the inequality. 4 bracket 2y plus 3 close bracket is less than or equal to 11 minus 2y. So we'll solve this inequality just like an equation, but we'll keep the inequality sign in as we progress through this solution. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply out the brackets. So the expansion of that first bracket is 8y plus 12, and that is less than 11 minus 2y. So now I'm looking at the inequality that I have, and I can see that I've got y's on both sides. So I'm going to remove the smaller number of y from both sides. Now the smaller number of y is minus 2y. So I'm going to add 2y, the inverse of minus 2y, to both sides. So I'm adding 2y to both sides. The next line of working out, and remember how important it is to show every line of working out, the next line of working out is going to be 10y plus 12 is less than or equal to 11. So I've added 2y on both sides. Now I need to get the y on its own. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. So that leaves me with 10y is less than or equal to minus 1. Now obviously at this point I need 1y. I don't write 1y because it's not polite, I'm just going to write y. But what I need to do now is I need to divide both sides by 10. Now that's going to give me y is less than or equal to minus 1 over 10. And you'll note how I've represented my division in this case just by using the fraction line. So y is less than or equal to minus 1 over 10. You could also have written y is less than or equal to minus 0.1 because we know that 1/10 is 0.1, therefore minus 1/10 is going to be minus 0.1. So I hope that's been helpful for a quick revision of inequality. Part 2, we're going to look at some expansions, and for part A we're going to use the FOIL technique, which is multiplying the brackets out using first, outer, inner and last. So to do that, looking at the first question, 5x multiplied by x plus 5 multiplied by x plus 8, I'm going to multiply out those brackets. So I'm going to start off by multiplying x times x and x times positive 8. So that's going to give me x squared plus 8x. So I've multiplied the first x by the second bracket. So x multiplied by x is x squared. X multiplied by positive 8 is plus 8x. So now I need to multiply the plus 5 by the x, which is going to be plus 5x, and the plus 5 multiplied by the plus 8, which is plus 40. Now, I need to then simplify by collecting like terms. So it's the 8x and the 5x, which are both positive, that I can then add together. So my next line of working out is going to be x squared plus 13x plus 40, and that is the solution. You can't do anything further with that. So looking at the second one, we've got x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 3. So again, we're going to start off with the x multiplied by the x. That's going to give x squared minus 3x. Then it's the 4 times the x and the 4 times the minus 3. So that's going to give plus 4x minus 12, because positive times a negative is a negative. So plus 4 times minus 3 is minus 12. So then we're going to collect our like terms. The minus 3x plus the 4x, that's going to give plus 1x. However, we don't write plus 1x because it's not polite. We just write plus x. So it's going to be x squared plus x minus 12. The third one is x minus 8 multiplied by x minus 9. So we'll start off by multiplying the x's. That's going to give us x squared. X multiplied by minus 9 is minus 9x. Minus 8 multiplied by x is minus 8x. And then a minus times a minus is a positive. So minus 8 multiplied by minus 9 is plus 72. Again, we go through the process of collecting our like terms. So our final solution for this question, with like terms collected, is going to be x squared minus 17x, because minus 9x minus 8x makes minus 17x, plus 72. For part B, we're going to expand the bracket x plus 2, which is squared. Now, when you've got a bracket squared, it's the bracket. So this then looks quite similar to the first one we've done on part 2. So we're going to do x multiplied by x, which is x squared, x multiplied by 2, which is plus 2x, 2 multiplied by x, which is plus 2x again, and 2 multiplied by 2 is plus 4. Again, we simplify, and that's going to give us x squared plus 4x plus 4. So that would be the solution for that expansion. Now, finally, we've got the bracket cubed. Now that's going to be the bracket. So it's going to be x plus 2, x plus 2, x plus 2. Now we've just done x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2, so we can take that and substitute it in. So we've worked that part of it out, and then we've just got to multiply it by x plus 2 again. So I'm going to start off by doing x squared multiplied by x, which gives me x cubed. And I'm going to do x squared multiplied by plus 2, which is plus 2x. So that's the first part of the expansion. Then I'm going to do plus 4x multiplied by x and plus 4x multiplied by 2. And sorry there, I should have just noted that it's going to be x cubed plus 2x squared, because x squared times by x is x cubed, and x squared plus, I'll just jump back there just to clarify that. So x squared multiplied by x is x cubed, and x squared multiplied by plus 2 is plus 2x squared. So then I'm multiplying the 4x by the x. 4x multiplied by x is 4x squared. 4x multiplied by plus 2 is plus 8x. And then finally, I'm going to do the plus 4 multiplied by the x, which is plus 4x, and the plus 4 multiplied by the plus 2, which is plus 8. So just to recap what I've done there, just to be sure that you understand. I've done x squared multiplied by x, which is x cubed, x squared multiplied by plus 2, which is plus 2x squared, the plus 4x multiplied by the x, which is plus 4x squared, the plus 4x multiplied by 2, which is plus 8x, then 4 multiplied by the x, which is plus 4x, and then 4 multiplied by the 2, which is plus 8. And now I'm in a situation where I need to collect the like terms. So I start off with my x cubed. There's no more like terms that are x cubed, so we can leave that as it is. But then we've got the x squareds to add together. So 2x squared plus 4x squared is 6x squared. And then we've got plus 8x plus 4x. That's plus 12x. And then finally, we've got the plus 8, which has no other like terms to it. So we just leave that as plus 8. So I hope this tutorial has been helpful. Please tune in for more tutorials. Pasta la pizza, arrivederci, so long, goodbye, au revoir, ciao for now. We will see you next time.